Back with us, Jacquie Jordan, Betsy McCoy. I used to live in Seattle. Spectacular place, loved it, but it's changed a lot.
Used to be spectacular.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That was a long time ago. But yeah, at the time it was great. One of the stories there was about, you're getting a lot about how hot it is. That it was a record high temps. I'm always, your thoughts on that, because you had something to say.
I think that the American public is getting misled by all these panicking reports on weather, tornadoes, temperatures, floods. The fact is we've always had a lot of big weather, but deaths, weather-related deaths, are at their lowest in human history. Never before have so few people died around the planet from weather-related concerns. The left is pushing this big time on the media, and it's a distraction from what is killing people, particularly in the United States. Drug-related deaths, highest in human history. Crime, very high. So, but focusing on all of this climate change instead is a diversion from what the government really should be doing, which is protecting civilization.
Yeah. What do you think?
I just think, from a media perspective, can you imagine that we have scared people so much not to trust the planet's innate intelligence, that we're so scared that we're going to create our own apocalypse here? So I so agree. But I have been in the Florida water, and I will say it's definitely warm. But that's also why people go down there for the winter.
And it is summer, after all.
And it's a thinner body, shallow body of water, more shallow in the Gulf at least.
No.
But let's
Americans would be getting the truth about this. But there are many scientists whose findings, Alex Berenson and others, are being totally muzzled. Because if you go up on Google, for example, which is really just a water boy for the Biden administration, you will find you cannot get any of these studies pointing out the fallacies that global warming is causing all these deaths. You can't get that information unless you go onto another search engine, because the Biden administration is so aggressively dictating to all the social media platforms what they must take off.
But isn't it really interesting, because you follow the money and you see where we're going with all of our money, with the electric cars for emissions and all the other things that are agendas that are being pushed around this whole environment.
Where's the electricity come from for the cars?
For the cars, right?
Good point.
Exactly.
Yeah, they come from power plants.
And what about even the batteries?
Exactly.
For those cars.
By natural gas.
Yes.
And the thing, I don't know if it's getting hotter than ever. What were they measuring in 1810? I mean, I don't know what they're comparing it to, but when they talk about what we need to do to address climate change, what concerns me is India has more people than we do and pollutes more than we do. China has more people than we do. And so we're going to change our world, force people, by the way, force them to go to electric vehicles, and the friends that I know.
Cripple our economy.
Well, and what I could say about Florida's water is, red algae is supposed to be naturally occurring, but what they don't take accountability for is the fertilizer runoff that happens through the state into the ocean. So, you hear people use the language, oh, it's naturally occurring, naturally occurring. People have actually respiratory infections because of it. It's hard to breathe. You get dead fish all over the ocean. I mean, it's frightening to see. But it is really a runoff from the fertilizer off of Florida that creates the overgrowth. And I always say it's like cancer is naturally occurring, but it's really not in the environment, natural to the environment. Same kind of whitewashing or greenwashing, as they say.
All right, Jacquie Jordan, Betsy McCoy, stick around earlier.